Hi, it's Cheryl, Senior Living Family Advocate, and I'm here today to talk to you about actually moving your loved one to a community and managing those expectations of what it's going to look like when they first move. That tends to be, the time where things kind of, get misunderstood. Things fall apart a little bit. If you're going to have issues, a lot of times it's in the very beginning because you don't really know what to expect. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. When you move your loved one to a community, first off, you should have their care plan. If you don't have their care plan, you should ask the nurse for a copy of the care plan. The care plan is what's those caregivers are going to do for your mom on a daily basis. For instance, they're going to go into the apartment and they're going to get her up, help her get dressed if she needs that help. She's going to have certain days of the week that they're going to help her in the shower if she needs that assistance. So anything she needs assistance with, they're going to have on that care plan. If she needs to be escorted to meals or reminders for activities, that is going to be on the care plan. It should be a detailed plan, so know what that looks like. So that way, if it's not being followed, you can say, hey, by the way, this isn't being done the way it's supposed to be done. That being said, it can take a good month for your mom, let's just say your mom and the caregivers to get to know each other. They're each figuring out the routine. Those caregivers need to know your mom's routine, what she likes, what she doesn't like. So it takes a minute for that to happen. One of the other things that you should know is, how do you express yourself or get your questions answered? A lot of the directors I know prefer email. If it's not, obviously if it's something you have an emergency, pick up the phone and call. But if these are just things that can wait, a lot of times the nurse and the director, within 24 hours, they're going to give you a call back or they're going to respond to that email. So that's a good thing to know. How are you supposed to communicate with the nurse and the director? Things can fall apart a little bit, and I personally think, they can be nitpicky things. Families, don't always understand that if her laundry day is Thursday and they don't do her laundry until Friday because, whatever happened, it's not the end of the world as long as it gets done. Sometimes laundry doesn't get folded the way you wanted it folded. And I always say, is that the biggest thing that we should be concerned about? Same thing with shower days. There are times when your loved one will refuse. They just don't want to shower that day. So maybe they'll bump the shower day to the next day and they'll try a new caregiver and say, well, maybe this caregiver is going to have better luck with mom to get her into the shower. So sometimes things aren't followed to the letter, but they get done. So it's managing those expectations of what it's like to be in a community, and get used to that community. Now, with all that said, obviously the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be advocating for your parent or your loved one. Absolutely. And if you're finding that you're trying to be patient and they're just not following that care plan, then you really need to address that because you are paying for them to follow the care plan. So, don't be afraid to talk to the nurse and the director about your concerns. But in the meantime, just understand that it is a process. Moving your loved one to a community is new. It's new for them. It's new for the caregivers, and they all need to get used to each other. And usually it's a really great experience. Hopefully they're getting mom out, for activities, so she can meet other people. Most people that I know that have moved to communities have really, enjoyed themselves. So hopefully that helps a little bit understand what it's like to move to a community your first 30 days or so. And if you have any questions, you need resources, send me a text, a call, an email. I'm here to help.